morning, good afternoon, good evening to all Biafrans and all lovers of freedom, wherever you are. We bring you these special broadcasts from IPOB North America Media. My name is Oliver Obi, IPOB Eastern Region. With me are Mazi Ume Opara, IPOB New Jersey, Mazi Tony, IPOB New Jersey, Madam Beatrice Okezie, IPOB New York, and Mazi Ositadimma, IPOB Canada. Our topic today is going to be bordered on our leader and his well-being, including what we are doing as IPOB North America towards his release. Our leader has charged us when he was with us, the IPOB North America. This includes United States and Canada. He's charged us to be responsible in financing this movement. And we have vowed to keep every single instructions given to us by our leader. Therefore, we've been working seriously most of the time behind the doors to make sure that we are doing we are maintaining his instructions. Therefore, we are asking every IPOB member, every Biafran, to see it, to come together and render the support so that we make sure that our land is kept safe. The enemies are still coming. They're non-relenting. They are still killing our people, killing our young men and women, innocent people, stopping people from going into their farms. Therefore, the threat is there. We must continue to do whatever we need to do to make sure that our land is safe from the terror group that are being sponsored by the Nigerian state. Therefore, as far as part of things we are doing, we are going to bring to you what some of the things we are doing for the well-being of our leader. IPOB North America, with strong backing and support by our women group, led by Madam Bridget Okafor, and most importantly, the Rising Sun Group. We can't thank them enough for everything they're doing for our land. I'm going to ask Mazi Ume if he's here. Let's see, is Mazi Ume back? Okay, Madam Bridges, can you go ahead and tell us what IPOB North America with the Rising Sun and the women group, what they've been doing since the abduction of our leader, including the tireless effort of the legal representation by Bruce Fine. Someone is taking responsibility for the everything, including the cost. And we know that yesterday, being January 20th, was the deadline given to Nigerian state by the United UN to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and as well compensate him for the torture he went through, release him unconditionally. So, Madam Beatrice, could you please, highlight us and highlight our people and the world as far as what IPOB and our allies are doing towards that? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mazi. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, good morning to all Biafrans, wherever you might be listening. Like Mazi Obi said, my name is Beatrice. I'm from IPOB New York, and as well as IPOB Biafra Women under Madam Bridget Okap. I would just summarize a little bit what we've been doing. Our contact with Bruce actually began a little bit before we heard of our leader's rendition. One of our members, I believe either in New Hampshire or Massachusetts, shared with us during one of our meetings that Nigeria had purchased 2 fighter jets. That is very, very high tech and can kill a large number of people from a distance. I don't really know all the technicalities that goes with the aircraft, but I do know it's very, very, it's very, very dangerous. And there's every suspicion that they are planning to use it with our boys in guarding our bushes and our farmland in Biafra land. So we began looking into ways to stop this, either the sale or the use of it in the eastern part, in Biafra land. So that this is how IPOB women began their connection with Bruce. So IPOB women contacted Bruce, long story short, hired Bruce with the help of the gallant men of the Rising Sun. And Bruce filed an injunction to stop the sale and also to stop the use of the aircraft in the Northeast, because Nigeria claimed that they were going to use it for Boko Haram in Sambisa Forest somewhere there. But we all know that's very high likely that they're planning on using it in Biafran bushes, in farmland. So that's so during that process, when that case was filed, an injunction against Nigeria for that aircraft, we learned about our leader's rendition and all the confusion that went along with it. So we as the IPOB women, previously we were charged with raising funds for ESN and raising awareness of our people's need to join and partner with IPOB in the restoration of Biafra, whether they are registered IPOB or not. So when we learned about our leaders' rendition, we decided that the most important thing that we can do right now is to get, fight for our leader to get him out. And with all the confusion that went along with the rendition of our leader, the IPOB women, along with the Rising Sun of gallant men of Rising Sun, believe that if our leader is out, and he will be the best person to put everything in order with all the all the things that is going on. So Bruce was hired as the international lawyer for Onyendu, and this was sponsored by gallant men of Rising Sun, our New Jersey family, North America, and IPOB women. So, and Bruce has been working assiduously to free our leader since then. Yours truly also traveled to Netherlands, one of the assignments, to assist him in when he went one of the case. So so that's pretty much in a nutshell. And he's been, and this the expenses has been very, very tough on all of us here, North America, include gallant men and IPOB women. So so that's what we've been doing to present. And we were rejoiced last October or September when UN came out with their, you know, with their, I'm sorry, I don't remember the word, came out with their instruction to release him unconditionally. And we were hoping that Nigeria would comply. But unfortunately, they haven't complied with the order. I'm sorry, UN order. I was just missing. To comply with the order given to them by UN. And we're not stopping. We're still pushing. We're still pushing. And we will continue to push until our leader is released. Thank you.
Excellent, my dear sister. Thank you so much. Obviously, there's like we've been saying, there's a law that prohibits the United States from selling any form of military or arms supply to any country in the world found to have some human right, even a single human right issue. But with the case of Nigeria, obviously, human rights abuse and current genocide happening in our land is pretty much a culture. It's not even a single issue. It's a culture. People are being slaughtered everywhere in our land, even the up north and the indigenous Hausa people or minority groups up north. They've been slaughtering them. So I don't see how the United States of America, which a country that was formed on the basis of fairness, that can consider possibly supplying weapons to a country that has these records. So based on this, that IPOB North America is working hard to remind our leaders in this country through our representatives that this law, that America is a country of law, America makes law and America enforces law. This is the epitome of legalities and law in this whole world. So, Mazume, if you're back, could you give us just a brief conclusion on this? As far as if you have anything to add to this, as far as what North America is doing, you talked about the legal aspect of things. If there's anything we missed on that, or there's also any involvement, anything going back home in the legal aspect. Okay, so I'm gonna let you talk to our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Maziobi. I hope I'm coming out clear.
Very clear, very, very well. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you, my colleagues tonight, Sister Beatrice, Mazi Shijoke, and Osita, right? Osita in Canada.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Very much appreciate being here tonight. Thank you, Biafrans, all over the whole world. Wherever you are, we appreciate your presence, and we very much appreciate our leader, Mazi Nadekano, who is in the enemy dungeon. He is there. We appreciate his life, and we pray vigorously for his health, that is going to be released in the near future. And tonight, I'm very glad that we are here just to share some information on what we have been doing in North America. I can say in this particular issue, North America is the biggest IPOB branch all over the whole world. And that means with IPOB North America, we have the financial capacity for this movement, and we have the diplomatic influence, and we have a vibrant human capital here in North America, and we have the global influence in terms of size and what we have. And by having that, we put that in place by utilizing our resources in terms of hiring one of the best lawyers in the world in the person of Bruce Fine, who was the former Assistant Attorney General of the United States during Reagan administration. And in his capacity, he was able to accomplish so many things by was able to sue the State Department and the Defense Department in terms of their supplying dangerous weapons to Nigerian government, which they will likely use to fight people who are fighting for self-determination, which are the Biafrans and IPOB. And in that capacity, he succeeded very much, and we thank him for that. And also, we have been able to use our diplomatic channel to get in touch with Congress, Senate, by writing them, highlighting the issues that we're having in Nigeria, the genocidal issues, and all the persecution of Christians and our IPOB members back home, and also the extraordinary addition of our leader from Kenya to Nigeria, putting him in solitary confinement, and the judicial issue going on there. So in that capacity, we have been, we have got in touch with them. So other things we have done in North America, which is by staying focused and then mobilizing our members so that we can be able to propagate our ideas of liberation and emancipation, and then doing the work that is going to be able to make the work on the ground more solid. That is what we have been doing for most of the time, since Onion was renditions and the influence of IPOB North America. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazume. Thank you for that elaborate presentation. Thank you. Yes, we are not going to relent. We don't have an option. We don't have a choice. Yes, we faced some distractions at the abduction of our leader, but IPOB is a family, and we encourage anybody, no matter where you are, and fighting this war. We encourage you to remain focused. I heard you when you said focus, Mazume. That's what we've been doing, remaining focused. And we encourage every fragment of IPOB right now to remain focused to the well-being of our land. That's number one. Okay, and avoid any internal problems between internal, we have that common problem to deal with. So thank you again. The issue of ESN. What has been ESN since our leader was abducted? And we would like to actually touch on that particular issue, because there has been a lot of distractions. We know that Nigerian government said that they proscribed IPOB, and they're lobbying the world to proscribe IPOB. How can you prescribe an organization of an indigenous people with all professionals from all walks of life? Something is not adding up to it. It's not adding up. Therefore, the world cannot prescribe IPOB. We are not doing anything wrong. We're just saying that we must protect our land, and for Nigerian state to leave us alone and to stop killing us. Since Nigeria cannot provide us with security of life and properties, we have to protect ourselves, and that's what we are doing. And turning around and labeling us terrorist organization or prescribing us is careless on the Nigerian state. And we are not going to be, moved by such level, because it's not going to work. We don't have any other place to go other than our land. So, well, is it Tony? Do you have anything? Could you please help us? What is IP? What is ESN at this point? And some people say that ESN is kidnappers. Some people, you know, tell us about ESN, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazobi, and good evening, everyone. Mazobi, we don't need to use that word. ESN kidnap. So one thing everybody have to know is this: that self-determination and self-defense is not a crime. It's an international law that you have to defend yourself. And our able leader said before, in one of his broadcasts, he said, if somebody slapped you, he kept quiet. The person slapped you again, he kept quiet. Maybe some other day he slapped you again, he kept quiet. Nobody would know that there is something wrong between you and that person. But whenever the person slapped you and they retaliate, or you try to defend yourself so that the person will not slap you again, then that is the time the world or people around know that something is wrong. Then they will ask two of you, what is going on here? Why are you people, what two of you are dragging? Then that is exactly what Biafrans are doing, especially IPOB, under the leadership of Mazen Nandekano. Biafrans have been killing since 1945 till death. The state called Nigeria, led by Britain, have been killing Biafrans, reason best known to them. And the Biafrans have been in that part of the world before Britain was created, or before the Britain come in existence in this world. Biafrans are the ancient people. So there is something, I believe there's something that Britain or some group of people around the world saw in Biafra land. So such a thing makes them to keep on trying to wipe away Biafrans. Taking up Caliphate, which is the Fulanish. We all know that Biafrans was set up by, ESN was set up by our able leader, Mazen Nandekano, a man that saw tomorrow. When he did that, he did mention it, and he said, ESN, they are not Nigerian forces and they are not Biafran forces. They are there to, they are volunteers. They are there to defend, to chase the killers that in the bush, killing our people, throwing out the farms, the crops. It is not new that everybody around the world knows that there is a time the Nigerian government was saying in their news, they're saying that there is headers and farmers crash. Headers and farmers crash, and many media carried it out. They saw the way the Fulani, the terrorists, the way they are killing our people in their farm. Before they start they bribe all the media, Facebook, whatever, and bribe them not to allow those things to be displayed again, for the world to see the genocide going on in Biafra land and what the terrorist group, it means Nigerian government, what they are doing. And when we realize that the Nigerian forces, called the Army, Air Force, and the police, they are combating with the terrorist group, working as a force for Nigerian state. Because these people, this army of Nigeria and the rest of it, they will shoot somebody in the broad daylight, just like that. And they kill somebody and say that there is nothing anybody can do about it. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because they are with arms. So, it cannot, there's nothing anybody that, doesn't have anything to defend himself or herself will do with somebody that carried AK-47 and the other heavy equipment. So they're trying to do a lot of things because they have mission. And their mission is this: they want to starve, they want to cause starvation in Biafra land, and they began to slaughter Biafrans and for them to conquer Biafrans and Islamize entire Nigeria. They have started that up north. They have conquered up north, and the people cannot say anything anymore. So they set up their Sharia law. In Nigeria, they have 2 laws. One is Sharia law, then one is democracy. Then the northern part are practicing Sharia law, then south are practicing democracy. And it cannot work. Oyedu made it clear that it cannot bring America, USA, and bring Britain and Saudi Arabia and put them together. It cannot work because what they believe is totally different, and way of life is totally different. Are you getting it? So Saudi Arabia believes in Sharia law. That is what they stand for. The United States of America stands, they are Republican. Live and let live. Britain, they believe in monarchy. Whatever that comes from the palace, that is final. Are you getting it? So these 3 cannot work. It cannot be together. You cannot put them together and say it works. So that's what's going on in Nigeria, what Britain did. They bring people from different distance and said, let's see how it will work. And those things, it didn't work. The experiment did not work out. So that's why the killings is going down. So we decided to defend ourselves because we are human. All the killings every blessed day in the farm and destroying the crops stopped. Immediately, ESN was formed by our leader, Mazen Nandekano. And the people can boast today, they can go to farm, to their farmland and do, get things good. And ESN is there in the bush. ESN is not, they are not authorized to come in the city or in the town or in the villages to do anything. No, they are in the bush. And I don't see the reason why, if a Fulani or a terrorist group want to live with us, let them come in the city and live with us, not in the bush. The only thing that live in the bush is the animals. And that is how it's supposed to be. So for them to go and occupy our bushes, they are there raping our women, raping our mothers, raping our children, killing our elderly ones. So we will not keep quiet as North America and watching these things happening. So when Onyendu set up these vigilantes, then North America saw it that is the best way to go, and that's the best thing to do to save lives. So that's why North America decided to support ESN because it's legal, and what they're doing is our right, or what the volunteers they are doing is their right to defend the land or self-defense. So we are not he is not a terrorist or whatever the propaganda the Nigerian media or Nigerian government might talking about it in the social media. The world knows the truth, and we in North America here, we know if at all ESN they are doing something that is not right. We are learned people here. We are right here in DC. We know how things work. Well, there's a diplomatic missions here in DC. So we know the right of our people, and we engage with them. Even UN, we engage with them. They tell us that it's our right to defend ourselves. So for Nigerian state to come out and telling the world that ESN, they are kidnapper, they are this, they are making themselves laughable to the international community, because the international community, they knows what is going on here. So ESN, their duty is what? To defend the bushes, to make sure that the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, and the headers, and the Nigerian forces, in the terrorists in uniform, in army uniform, they will not be there killing our people in the bushes. Because why I mention Nigerian forces? Because whenever these terrorists, Fulanis, kill our people in the bush, if our people began to shout and calling Nigerian forces to come there to chase them away or whatever, instead of Nigerian forces or army to look for these terrorists, they will begin to, killing our people, arrest our people. If somebody asks them, why are you arresting the people, the victims? They start to kill the victims again. So, which means Nigerian army or Nigerian forces are working together with the terrorists. So, which means basically the Nigerian government, the Nigerian state, the Aso Rock was occupied by terrorism. So everybody in Nigerian, in Aso Rock there is a terror. They are in this business together. So we all know that. And I believe international community knows all this. And I believe US security agents, they know this. But time will come when all these things, international community will make it open. So my dear brothers and sisters, Biafrans, what ESN is doing is our legitimate right. And we in North America, we keep on supporting them, and they will keep on doing their good work. And we thank Mazin Nandekano for bringing Biafrans together and setting up ESN as our vigilantes to secure lives and properties in Biafra land. Thank you, Mazi.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. Mazi Tony, thank you so much for the details, and thank you for bringing my attention to the mute. Yes, vigilante group is a right of a people who want to protect themselves from terror groups. Yes, our land, I heard you when you said that we can live with the terrorists even if they come to live in our cities. We can live with terrorists, but as far as Fulanis are concerned, if they true good Fulanis, we don't mind. We can share our land with them, but it's against our culture for anybody to for a grown man to choose to live in the bush. It's not within our culture. And for a grown man to commit rapes and to all kinds of crimes, that is where we have problem. The Nigerian state has been manipulating the event to get the people to believe that our vigilante group are actually the ones causing the problem. I want to see if I can share this picture, if I can do that. Let me see if where the Nigerian state got somebody with Nigeria, the army uniform or an army hat, and call label the lady ESN person. It was just a little bit laughable, unfortunately, that this is the type of thing we go through. I want to see if I can share that. This look at Nigerian state let's see. Nigeria captured this, said that they captured, they manipulated a lady and, you know, took a picture of them with the lady or video of the lady coming out of the bush, you know. Now, if you look at this logo on her hat, you're gonna notice that this is the same logo of Nigerian Army. Sometimes when they do all these things, they don't know, you know, the God of our land, the God Almighty is up there watching, and they will always make a mistake. Onyendu said it when he was out here broadcasting. They will all plan all these things and they will always make a mistake. Look at a young lady, they forgot that this lady has this hat, which is the same emblem, the same logo of Nigerian army, you know. So this is the type of thing the Nigerian state is doing. Actually, they use some of our people to propagate this falsehood that our people are the ones committing crimes in our land. No, it's not. No ESN person is allowed to be outside, out of the bushes. Their duty, as stated out by our leader, is to make sure that our bushes, our farmlands are protected from the herdsmen. Nothing else. You cannot come outside, talk less of being part of anybody that is killing or kidnapping our people. Their job is not to. Their job is to protect our land from the herdsmen, you know, wandering through our bushes. We can never allow that, and that's the duty of the North America IPOB, to protect our land, and that's what we're gonna continue to do. So I do thank you, Mazi Tony, for your elaborate explanation of what's going on with ESN. So our next topic is about our people last Christmas. It was said that most people ended up in Lagos. Nobody went back to our land because of fear. And a lovely community, Ihamufu, was displaced by Fulani terrorist groups during the Christmas time. The entire town did not stay home. They were displaced. You know, Ihamufu is our border town with the Idoma people, and the terrorists have been targeting that area. So we want to bring in Mazi Osipabinma to play, see if you can unmute yourself and educate us on the what's going on in our border our border towns, and what IPOB is doing to get that taken care of. Mazi Osipabinma, please, the floor is yours, please.
Yes, thank you, my brother, Maziobi. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all Biafrans, wherever you are. And good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all men and women of goodwill all over the world. We are Biafrans, we are Igbos. Today again, as yesterday, not yesterday as of Friday, but yesterday in the past, our people are under siege by the same very enemy. The same enemy who is within our land, who is a core for the larger enemy who is outside of our land. Our people are under the threat of terrorists masquerading as legitimate government, a government that has been compromised by the caliphate, the Fulani caliphate, who were yesterday the foot soldiers of the colonialists, the foot soldiers of the Arabs who raided our villages for slaves, the foot soldiers of the Europeans who raided our land for slaves, the foot soldiers that were imported into our land and used to control our people, to enslave us, to control us, so that we may not have control of our future. Today, the situation in our land is very tense. Our people are on the edge. Our people do not know their left and right anymore because the very essence of livelihood has been taken away from them. We are in a precarious situation in our land called Nigeria because a particular tribe feels most worthy to be in governance because the master told them that this is the very essence. This is the only way. This is the only option you have if you must remain here, if you must be in any way relevant to the collective future of Africa. The same enemy we face in Nigeria is the very enemy faced all over sub-Saharan Africa. An enemy that have mastered the art of subterfuge, deceit, and inducement with which they have corrupted all our leaders. Most of them are educated. I'm talking about our leaders. Most of them have PhDs. Some of them have masters in various fields of study. But today, they are the very proxies with which the enemy uses to oppress our people since the Civil War ended. A war of attrition, a war where all the various Geneva Conventions were defiled, yet no one was held accountable. Our people have been massacred. Our people were killed in their millions. Over 10 millions were killed during the Civil War, and millions yet have been killed piecemeal by piecemeal since the end of the Civil War till today. Today in Biafra land, which is the hub of economic activities in all of Africa, Biafra land is a no-go area. Biafra land is awash with insecurity. Biafra land provides the largest market for all of Africa, yet there is no road leading to and outside of this land. Biafra land provides the largest source of revenue for the entire nation. However, these Biafrans have been assaulted, insulted, dehumanized, and made to be like second-class citizens in their own very homes. We are facing an enemy that have compromised every instrument of state and weaponized every instrument of state against the Biafran people, and by extension against all indigenous Nigerians. A government that has degenerated into a kakistocratic government, a kleptocratic government, using the very instrument of state as weapons against the people, turning the leaders against their own people, creating client leaders in our land who are the very instrument they use to oppress our people, imposing governors like they did before, because their leaders and their handlers have taught them very much about our ancient history. So today we have the likes of Herod, the likes of Hopu Zadimma, the likes of Governor Ugwanye, the likes of Governor Soludo, the likes of Governor Devu Mahi, Governor Wike, the likes of Ibazu, and all the leaders or the politicians we have in the southeast of Nigeria, who has forgotten that the very economy that Nigerian government relies on comes from their backyard, but they are happy to answer Ocholo Ozua, one in town, so that they are the only ones who are favored in the land against their own very people who are suffering in their multitude. We are facing a government that have weaponized corruption and uses corruption as legitimate tool of oppression against the people. We are facing a catastrophe that our people cannot get away from unless they stand up on their feet and fight it. We are facing an existential threat. Today, we are discussing how to cohabit with Fulani terrorists. But we have forgotten how this Fulani terrorist came about. A sitting governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai by name, told the whole world on Nigerian news that he is inviting, or he has invited Fulani terrorists or Fulani, their brothers and sisters from the Sahel, to come and fight a jihad in Nigeria. Nigeria is not at war. This same governor threatened European election scrutineers or monitors that if any of them moves outside of the box, that they're going to go back to Europe in body bags. If this statement came from an Igbo leader, he will be in jail today. Today, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is illegitimately held down in a terrorist dungeon, in a dungeon controlled by a terrorist, because he stood for democracy. He stood for the very reason that the United Nations was formed. He stood for truth. He stood for equity. He stood for freedom. Yet the whole world is silent while this man suffers illegitimately in the hands of terrorists who are masquerading as legitimate government. The Fulani Caliphate, the Sultan of Sokoto, is the head of all Fulanis in all of sub-Saharan Africa, precisely in Nigeria, but he is inert while his murderous Fulanis are killing and destroying lives and properties throughout Nigeria for the past 7 years under the guise of a leader or a Buhari that is not in existence. The Fulanis are carrying out an experiment in our land, masterminded by their handlers who are not within our land. These Fulanis have compromised the very essence of governance in our land and have terrorized our people to the very extent that even the army, the police, the very civil defense of our land are all led by terrorists. Where the Fulani terrorists cannot openly operate like in Biafra land, they use the cover of the army to provide and to sustain terrorism against free Biafran people. IPOB was illegally prescribed as a terrorist group. Meanwhile, the actual terrorists who are killing and burning people alive, like a few days ago, a priest in Benue State was burnt alive in a church. I heard some people discussing this with the US, with the White House press secretary. A few days ago, the United States is keeping quiet and they have all this intelligence. The United States and the whole world is watching while a new Afghanistan, something worse than an Afghanistan, is happening under their very noses. I don't know how many more lives must be lost before an action is taken. According to the international law, according to the principle of R2P, the responsibility to protect, if a nation is fraught by terrorism, or if there is extrajudicial killing of people or citizens by a corrupt government, where over 3,000 people have died within a specific fiscal year, the United Nations, under the Security Council, activates the responsibility to protect. But in Nigeria, the Fulani Caliphate have killed thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. But no action has been taken internationally. Yes, we acknowledge and we thank the UN working body for their verdicts and their judgment on Nigeria to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to hold Nigerian government responsible for the extrajudicial renditioning of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The 6 months given is about to expire. We have not seen any actionable policy to sustain or to sanction those actors who were responsible for this crime against our brother and our leader. We are talking about here how to cohabit with terrorists, but we have forgotten that somebody is responsible for the encroachment of these terrorists into our land. We have the Ministry of Immigration and Customs and Border Services in Nigeria. We are all aware when the southern border was closed with a political subterfuge of providing a bigger market for rice production in the country and to stop smuggling of rice, which is all a lie. Meanwhile, the northern border, which contributes nothing to the revenue of the country, was opened, and we see flocks of terrorists into our land on a daily basis for the past four years. Thousands of Fulani terrorists came into our land with taxi support from the Nigerian government. These terrorists coming into our land have become responsible for the thousands and thousands of lives and properties destroyed, farmland destroyed. None of them has been prosecuted. Meanwhile, the vast majority of the Nigerian army is in Biafra land against the people who are calling for their freedom. This is an anomaly in the highest order.
I think we have only 2 minutes to finalize, so thank you so much. Keep going, but I think we lost my sister. Anyways, I think we've come to the end of this broadcast today. We're gonna be continuing on this in the next few days, and we're going to let people know when we are coming back out. On this, I'm going to thank everyone that is here today. We thank you for all your time and everything you are doing for Biafra and our land. On this, we're going to end it here and then come back the next time. Thank you, everybody. And Amazing, I think you're still on mute. Yeah. Anyways.